Hey guys, Sidecrafter here. Today I am joined by Bailey, aka Tour Gamer Junkie,
Everyone,
the the voice that doesn't want to show his face anymore.
because he's camera shy.
Are you sure it's that, and just the fact that you can't make it here?
I'm just so bad. I don't want the camera, to see me.
Oh, just wait until we're able to do Ruby again. You'll be on camera,
Yeah.
or you're just gonna be below the camera. You're just gonna
Maybe,
crouched under the camera the entire
maybe I'll get
time.
my knee done. Maybe I'll get my knees done so I can get a foot higher.
What? So your head's out of frame?
Yeah, yeah,
That
seven
would be
foot four.
funny. Anyways, enough of the humor. We're gonna get to Assassination Classroom Season 2, where we're gonna. Our topics are gonna take a bit of a. I wouldn't say darker turn, but like more serious turn.
Yeah, the theme becomes more serious.
Yes. Well, it was serious the entire time. It's just that at this point, now it's truly a serious thing.
Yeah.
But first, we're gonna start with episode 11. And the five virtuosos discuss the results of the school festival with the principal and like with their Gakushu, I think his name is. And while he is satisfied, his dad is like he's not happy with the fact that E class came second. And
Yeah, he's one of those parents where it's like, no, do better. I got an A plus. Do better. How?
get a B plus.
There's no S ranking in grading. That's only in games.
No, but the principal is like, why did you not poison their food? It's like, hey, excuse
It's
me,
like,
that is the worst thing you could do. It's like,
yeah.
and what type of poison would you suggest? Hmm?
No, just put laxative in their food. You're good to go.
No, but E class would be able to bread. It's like, our food is so delicious, it'll make you go in the forest. That'd be a good branding, really. You eat from the forest, you supply the forest.
Yeah, the circle of life.
Yes. Gakusho rebukes that given E class's successes throughout the year, he believes that his father's education philosophy is wrong. I cannot say that word because PH sounds.
Philosophy.
Yeah. He adds that true strength does not come from ruling over the weak, and that Gakushu and his friends, almost calling them minions, have
I don't know.
unconsciously.
I don't know.
Hmm?
What?
No, I was like doing the like almost calling them minions. It was like,
Uh, and I just did the minions sound like Puppet Dumbledore.
oh,
That was a joke I was making.
but yeah,
But anyway, continue.
they have found that unconsciously their abilities have been improving in parallel to their rivals in E class. The chairman then asks the son to wait outside his office for 3 minutes so he can talk to his friends in private. With Ren's blessing, Gakushu does so because it's like, what can he do in 3 minutes? And 3 minutes later, he is called back by the chairman, only to find the office shrouded in darkness, and his friends endlessly chanting, like, kill class 3E. It's like, what?
Look at that blood
Three
loss flowing.
minutes? Like his father states that he is merely fanning the flames of hatred towards Class 3E and is determined to make his philosophy stand through. Incidentally, he'll be handling the end of term exam preparations and also the exams. This this guy is messed up in the worst way possible. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, I can do that.
You got this.
Yeah, we were on the next day, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the next day, Gakushu muses to himself how the relationship between him and his father has always been one of a teacher and student and never personal, even at home. On the way to school, the chairman stops to see a homeless man. He throws some banknotes to the ground and the man eagerly picks it up to feed his gambling habits, which is because of Asano's machinations. In the chairman's office, he blackmails Karasuma and his assistant for more money, sensing a change in the atmosphere as the assassination deadline draws near. Ostensibly citing the safety of his students, Karasuma complies, knowing how shrewd the chairman can be to have the entire Ministry of Defense in his pocket.
Yeah. Uh,
In
Sorry to interrupt, but I actually learnt something in particular. Remember when Koro Sensei said the 7-1 thing in Brazil?
yeah,
Apparently, that's because of a 2014 soccer game between Brazil and Germany.
really.
Yeah, because what happened was Germany won 7-1. Like they got 5 goals in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Because usually a soccer game is like more evenly matched than you would expect.
yeah,
So for Germany to get 5 goals in the first half an hour is absolutely wild. and like Brazil only got 1 point and all that. That's why all the Brazilians got angry at Koro Sensei.
okay.
You wanna know how I learned of that piece of information?
Wow.
On a channel called Virtual, a Trackmania race, a Trackmania driver.
Trackmania.
Yeah, it's a car racing game. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
race the clock. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I get
that's
that.
how I learned that piece of information. Anyway, continue, Bailey.
In the mountain classroom, Koro Sensei believes that his students have matured enough over the year to succeed in the second semester exams, unlike the first semester midterms. Sugino, however, reveals that Class A is being taught by none other than Chairman Asano. His first lesson with them was so much easier but a lot faster, causing a few of the students to fall behind. Asano takes them outside for 3 minutes before they walk back in with the same brainwashed look on their faces and chanting the same words as Gakushu's friends. He states that the class should demolish the enemy and they are the future of humanity. He also excuses Gakushu from the classroom, confident that he will get the same result. At the end of the day, Class E discusses the similarities between Koro Sensei and the chairman. At campus, they see Gakushu waiting for them. Getting straight to the point, Gakushu asks them to kill his father's education and philosophy only by taking the top 50 spots from Class A. Gakushu will still aim for first place should Class A win. However, they will only trust his father's methods in future endeavors. In terms of the relationship between Gakushu and his father, he will forever be stuck being second in command. The constant defeats to Class E have given Gakushu perspective and bows his head to them in an uncharacteristic gesture.
Just hold on a moment. Your wording on like should Class A win, you don't need however in there. It's like
Oh,
should
excuse me, Grammarly.
nah. I'm sorry. I'm just like it, it's a weird sentence to look at. That's all. It's more of a should Class A win, they'll only trust Gecko's methods in future endeavors. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Am I continuing?
I can take the next one if you want.
Alright.
Because Karma kills the mood in a forthright manner. Just like, yeah, I'm going to take the top spot from you. Straight to Gakusho. I think it's Gakusho, not Gakushu.
Potato.
Yeah. This guy says that all Class E ever wanted was to do their best, while Karma advises his rival to study as if he wants to kill him. It's like, it's a good method, really, if you think about it. And Gakushu agrees with this, and it's like, let's go. As the other teachers bemoan that the chairman may have gone too far with the content and the extreme difficulty of the exam questions, the chairman and Koro-sensei meet at the former's office. Gecko asks why he wished to become teacher. And Koro-sensei is a bit vague, is just vague about it. And it's like either pass on their successes to the next generation, or to hide their failures. Something that strikes like the chairman's core. It's like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna get some backstory today, aren't we?
Yes, we who doesn't love a good backstory?
Oh, we're getting like this week is just gonna be all backstory. 1 week later, the whole school starts their English exam, and during their preparations, Koro-sensei had the students with the best academic ability in the subject teach the rest of the class, or like particular students that were more struggling in that same subject. So like Nagisa with his English, I nearly said her for some reason. Yeah, Nagisa with his English teaching those not as great in English, and Karma weirdly enough with his math. Like, I'm surprised Karma is down for math, is what you've written here. I mean, Karma's really good at most subjects. He's a well-rounded student, I would say.
Yeah, I think Karma's just very well read.
Really?
Well, yeah, play on words. He's not only the red hair, but he's pretty smart. So I assume he's read a lot of books.
Well, when he started out, he was more street smart than the other characters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when he puts his mind to it, he's actually one of the smartest characters in the class. Yeah. The English exam proves to be very challenging, with many of the students unable to finish the paper. Even Nagisa, whose best subject is English, found the exam exhausting just on the very first day. It's like, if the English exam's hard, how's the rest of it gonna go? Because the other subjects proved to be even more difficult for Class E, though Class A appeared to be tackling the science portion with such a brutal and primal passion. Fake Ritsu provides inspiration and morale raising in the Japanese exam. In contrast, in the maths exam, Terasaka pummels his way through the probability questions. Like, yeah, if you don't have the time to figure it out logically, just brute force works, as long as you got the right method. The class, at the very least, aims to get partial credit by using the right formula and approach. It's like, you don't have to get perfect scores. You can get, as long as you get partial, you can pass. However, they stumble at a relatively unknown topic towards the end. Karma and Gakushu solve the problem with ease before facing a showdown on the final question. It's like, like Karma uses like a grenade to blow it up in just like one go. I get why you wrote Karma for math now, because he just does it so easily.
Yeah, right, he does.
Want to start us off with episode 12?
I sure do. With most of the grade either unable to reach the final question in time or simply too exhausted to attempt it, only Karma and Gakushu have enough time to try to solve the problem. Both students realize the complexity of the problem and approach their solutions in a different way. While Gakushu tries to answer the problem with complex formulae, after only reading the last sentence of the question, Karma ponders on how everybody has a hidden talent. Nagisa, Sugino, and Okuda, to name a few. He finds a crucial line at the beginning of the question and realizes that the solution is quite simple. Karma writes down a simple formula as his answer, scoring a perfect 20.
Yeah, so
Gak-
like the formula is a cubed over 2.
How is that simple? Not for me, I don't know maths.
No, so it's like each of the corners take up eighth of a sphere, and when you take all that and put it into like a cube shape with the rounded edges facing in, it's the same space as what's left over.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, you can, because it's as Karma explains. It's there's space. There's the space outside the question itself. It's actually an infinite space. Which is how he lands on the answer being half the space of the entire cube.
Yeah. So Gakushu scores a 17 out of 20, having just run out of time before needing to write one more line. Don't you just hate that?
Yeah, it it just proves that you have to read every line of a question.
You're so close, and you're like, wait, I got the answer. Oh no, time's up.
I've
Sucks
had
for
that happen
you.
to me, but the schools that I went to, they were nice to give like an extra 5 minutes, because it's
That's
like,
good. That's good.
yeah, because it's like with some students, you know your student is going to know the answer, so you gotta give them that fair chance.
Yeah. The next day, Kora Sensei unfurls a large poster showing students that they were in the top 50. After seeing that Terasaka, the last of Class 3E in terms of academic ranking, is ranked 46 overall, the whole class rejoices that everyone has monopolized the top 50 spots. The FB has been knocked out of their previous midterm rankings, and Karma overtakes Gakushu as number one. Koro Sensei is proud of his students, though Karma admits that he may not have solved the last math problem if he had not spent the year socializing with Class 3E. When Koro Sensei states that Class A did well in the first portion of the exam, they were not able to handle the growing difficulty in the questions of the later subjects. Nakamura reasons that cramming can only take you so far, and their bloodlust had not been nurtured as long as that of Class E.
Yeah, I love how like they made like what would be a math problem into something that's just like a social problem,
Yeah.
and it's a it's a perfect way of showing um, Karma's growth as a character.
You want me to continue, or
I'll take it. Anyway, at the main campus, in Class A and the 5 HOSs are thoroughly depressed at their performance. Gakushu, though humbled by his defeat at Karma's hands, promises to use this frustration to make future victories a certainty. He states to his friends to use their defeats as a learning experience to better themselves in the future. At those words, Chairman Asuna confronts his son, saying that there is still the graduation exam to come for him to perfect his teachings, But the whole of Class A realizes that the principal's methods had caused them to lose, finding that the methods used to teach Class C have been a lot more effective. They bow their heads to the chairman as they request they transfer to Class E. It's like, we can't have those transfers happen in this situation, just on this year. Gekishu turns to his father, saying that the class gave their answer, but is backhanded by his father in reaction. The glitched look on his face is the first time Gekishu has seen him expressing a fatherly expression. As the class leaves the room, it's like, just the fact that the backhand that he does is just so nonchalant as well. Like, it's just like no thought in it. It's just backhand across the classroom.
We love a good backhand. And a
Not to your
backstroke.
child. Like,
No, I meant like, when you got those annoying characters and then in movies and TV shows and you see like in anime for example,
yeah.
and they just like go Whoosh!
In anime, it's always the strongest backhand you've ever seen.
Yeah, like in JoJo. I think it's JoJo.
I haven't seen JoJo. You're never gonna make me watch JoJo.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Someday.
Maybe, but we'll never cover it on the podcast. It'll be the one type of anime we'll never cover on the podcast. Because, by what I have seen on that, it's really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not weird. Suspicious. If you know what I mean, Bailey.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway, let's get back to the anime. Because at the mountain classroom, Kara-sensei states that every student is now eligible to return to the main campus. However, the class are unanimous in staying so that they can kill their teacher. Kara-sensei decides to tell him another weakness as a reward, but is interrupted by a loud noise that shakes the building. The students find that a bulldozer has torn down a part of the building with Chairman Asano standing in the background. He tells them that the board has decided to demolish the building and that the students will move to another premises akin to that of a prison on the main campus grounds. Furthermore, he pulls out Kara-sensei's dismissal. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Let me try again. Furthermore, he pulls out Kara-sensei's dismissal papers and claims that he came to terminate him, prompting Kara-sensei to comically protest. It's like, and like that's one of his weaknesses, the downsizing.
No, they downsized my house. The bastard.
He clarifies, meaning that he came to kill him. Asano, though, proposes a challenge to him. A challenge of wits. Should he wish to stay, he'll need to solve a random problem in 4 of the workbooks Asano brought with him, before the anti-sensei grenade hidden in each of the books explodes. Asano will solve the 5th problem in his workbook that contains a real grenade should Kara-sensei solve all of them alive. Everyone knows that the gamble gives an unfair advantage to Asano, and Terasaka points out that Kara-sensei only has a 20% chance in successfully pulling the challenge off. Terasaka claims that this is unfair, causing Asano to counter that life is unfair and filled with injustice. Nevertheless, Koro-sensei opens the first workbook and becomes flustered by a math problem involving planes. Trust me, planes are annoying to deal with. Asano has revealed that this wasn't a calculated thing, it was something he came up with sort of on the spot. It was more akin of the metal puzzles.
Which puzzle was that?
Those metal rings that you have to try and separate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Asano was talking about. But like, I don't know if this had been calculated from the time they first met. It was more he used the weakness of him getting flustered by the metal ring puzzles to 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 weaken Koro Sensei. But yeah, the problem has to be solved in 1 second, otherwise the grenade goes off. Until Koro Sensei.
Boom.
What was that?
I just said boom.
Oh. Until Koro
Boom.
Sensei.
Shakalaka.
Ooh. That's the second time you've interrupted a sentence.
My apologies. Go on.
Until Koro Sensei is killed, Asano will be free to use the money blackmailed from the Ministry of Defense and the bounty to create branches around the country for his education philosophy to take effect. The episode ends with Koro Sensei taking a direct hit, but still alive, as he tries to solve the remaining workbooks. And now we're at episode 13. Care to take over, Bailey?
I sure do. I do care, so it's your problem. Now, continuing on from the previous episode, Koro Sensei has taken a hit after failing to solve a math problem before the anti-sensei gun grenade exploded on him. Chairman Gakuho Asano tells Koro Sensei to continue solving the remaining 3 problems in the workbooks, but to his surprise, Koro Sensei answers the second one in the blink of an eye without harming himself. He explains that as a teacher, he solved the questions in all the workbooks within the country.
Well,
Asano claims
it's worded that he read every single one, so that he knew the answers to all of them.
how fast does he read? He reads like at Mach 12, right?
I don't know. It's fast enough that he can read the entire book really fast, but not fast enough to set paper on fire. Really?
That's a bit strange.
Like it's
Have you heard the theory that the Flash can't run fast, he just pauses time?
I have not heard of that.
So, like, there's a move he does in the show where he runs around the world really fast and does a punch to an enemy.
Huh, yeah.
But that would be like the equivalent, like he has to spend months traveling the world just to get that punch going.
By the way, do you remember there was an episode of Gumball where Gumball and Darwin accidentally freeze time?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And like they grab a book and they open it and the book just catches on fire because it moves so fast.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
You know they had to get a different voice actor for Gumball?
Really?
Because the original actor, he went through puberty and he couldn't do the voice anymore. So they
Oh,
had to get someone else.
that's a bit
But then
embarrassing.
well, what's funny is they ended up bringing that guy back. They brought the original actor back for when Darwin and Gumball go through puberty in an episode.
Yeah. At least that voice actor had a bit of voice work that he could still do then, technically.
Yeah. Alright, where was I? Asano claims that this is remarkable, causing Koro Sensei to further state that he only that he only had difficulty with the math problem because he lent another copy of the same workbook to a student a long while ago, implied to be Tokoyada, and had forgotten about it. He fulfills his end of the deal and gently goads Asano in asking whether his life is flashing before his eyes.
And
Ooh.
so it is. We got a big
The,
chapter, or a big paragraph here.
the chairman thinks back to the very beginning of his teaching career, where he established a cram school on a mountain financed by his earnings on the stock market. He remembers his first three students, Ikeda, Mori, and Nakai. Back then, he was focusing on teaching them to be good students and built a strong relationship with Ikeda in particular. I'm just going to call Ikeda IKEA. I like the name IKEA better.
Okay.
Yeah. IKEA, Mori, and Nakai. I just lost my place now. Here we go. In appreciation of his teaching, then the three students brought a golden oak leaf pin for him, a gesture Asano is very happy of. Asano's reputation as a teacher rose, and his cram school received more enrollments over the following 3 years, while his first students went to high school after receiving a call from IKEA, who seemed happy. Asano planned to visit his house after performing some duties in the area. But arriving at his place, Asano discovered to his horror that IKEA committed seppuku, following persistent bullying from a peer in his basketball team. He he attended IKEA's funeral along with Nakai and Mori,
I'm sorry.
but his
I'm,
whole
I'm, I'm sorry.
philosophy to teaching changed.
I can't take IKEA seriously. It is. It's such a serious moment, and you're saying IKEA. I'm sorry.
You don't like the word IKEA?
No, it's just the fact that you're saying like a brand name.
I could say USKEA if that helps.
No, it's just funny. Go on, keep going because it's the last time Ekada
Alright.
Ekada is
Asano began to
mentioned.
teach his next students to become strong and willing to sacrifice to strive for their goal, or it would all be for nothing. He took a sabbatical, learning different kinds of strengths. He perfected his brainwashing techniques and got his revenge on IKEA's bullies by luring them into gambling, causing them to be addicted to it, which is a pretty good revenge, because the best revenge is living well, and they're not living well.
Yeah,
Asano also created the school that will become Kunugigaoka Junior High as a way of reinforcing his new philosophy, while the cram school he established represented his greatest failure as a teacher.
an interesting detail that like the fact that he did that to the bullies. Was that the guy that he tossed the money at?
It was one of them.
Yeah, it's like you in that when we first see that scene, we're just like we just see it as like a random guy that he's
Oh, yeah.
tossing money at.
And when you know his character, you'd be like, it's a bit odd. Why would he be doing this, you know?
Uh,
If you think back to it, the way he acts, it's like, why would he be giving money to a homeless person?
by the way, we got someone in the chat. Kato, I think it's pronounced. I don't know what that message means. I think they're talking about a song. This is not a music stream, unfortunately,
Yeah,
and
we
also,
just discuss anime in this.
hmm?
Oh, it's just if that person's listening, I was just saying we just discuss anime.
Yeah, I know you put in a song request, but we don't really. I don't have music playing. Sorry about that. It's perfectly fine. We're talking about Assassination Classroom, and then after that, I got some Minecraft I'll be playing. Should we get back to the notes?
Yes, we should. Where was I?
I can take the next paragraph. That previous paragraph, so it's massive. Back in the present, Asano willingly opens his workbook knowing he will face certain death. The grenade explodes, but it is revealed that Asano has been protected by Koro Sensei's, not. I wouldn't. His, shedding skin. Koro Sensei states that he based his teaching methods on Asano's early teaching years. While Asano was striving to achieve his philosophy, he had unconsciously kept his former methods alive by placing, or by basing his, by placing the students deemed failures into the hands of a fellow educator who can restore their confidence and self-esteem, and thus achieve their own victories. Asano does not openly admit defeat, simply that Koro Sensei's methods had proven that Asano's own methods worked. It's like, okay, we're going stupid.
You're stupid.
Before leaving, Asano asks whether he can return to try his luck at killing Koro Sensei, to which the latter smugly agrees. It's like, I will use this knife to kill ya. Walking back to the car park at the main campus, Asano sees his son by their car, asking if the look on his father's face meant he lost again. The chairman states that he will not only improve himself as an educator, but also as a parent, and asks whether his son will sue for assault. No, I think it was more Gakushu was like, I'm gonna sue you for assault. And Gakko challenges him to do so. Back at the classroom, Koro Sensei tells the students of another weakness as a reward for their academic efforts. He explains that his body is designed for speed and lacks power. Holding him in place will immobilize him, essentially. But not only does so, since he's simply too fast for the students to hold his tentacles down. It's like, dude, I feel like that would have been obvious from the fact that he's not supposed to harm the students.
Well, you know that sometimes people don't know the obvious when it's staring them in the face.
Yeah, it's like, he can't harm us. Dogpile the guy and kill him. That's all they have to do.
I guess that could work.
Hmm?
I guess that could work.
Well, it should, because if he can't move, like, without throwing students really far away, I mean, he does have that ability. They can turn much more fluid and just slip out. Sometime later, Izugai announces to Classy that they'll need to perform at a school play despite their high school entrance exams being so near. Although he had complained about this at the student council meeting, Gakushu Asano simply replies that Classy will figure it out as his way of complimenting them? Yeah. I guess it's sort of a backhanded compliment. Uzama is designated as the writer, while Keano works on the props. Koro Sensei is reduced to being a peach. And their play begins with the whole school when the whole school is having lunch. It's like, because they have to do it at break time, I guess. And Hazama purposely wrote the play about a divorce between an abusive relationship. About a divorce in an abusive relationship between a lecherous, conniving husband, played by Sugino, and the stressed wife, Kansaki. to be dark in something that will cause the school to lose their appetites. A twist on the Japanese folktale Momo. Care to explain, Bailey?
Momo. I can't picture it off the top of my head.
Did they actually state that in the anime, or did you look that up?
Oh, well, I looked it up.
Cool.
No, like, no, they do say it in the anime.
Really? I don't
Why do
remember
it
them
in the
saying
other?
it.
I swear. Either that or I was watching To Love Ru and there's a character called Momo and I've just the lines have been crossed.
Why don't you look up the peach thing, if there's an actual Japanese folk tale around a peach?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, but you might have the wrong name of it down. That's all. Anyways, the play in Hazame's view is a success, and Gakushu curses them out for like basically ruining their lunch. As the class celebrates in a mixed fashion, the chairman ponders that a major storm is brewing that will affect the whole class of 3E.
Yeah, there is.
What's the name of it?
Momotaru.
Ah, Momotaru.
A giant peach was found floating down a river by an old childless woman who was washing clothes. The woman and her husband discovered the child when they tried to open the peach to eat it. The child explained that he had been bestowed by the gods to be their son.
Okay.
It's like the equivalent. Imagine if you're like trying to crack an egg and a little chick comes out.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, want to start us off on episode 14?
Yeah, sure. Let me just. You sure you don't want to hear more about the peach baby?
No, I think we've had enough about the Peach Baby.
All right, then. I'll start us off with episode 14. Yeah.
Yep.
After the school play, the class discusses their success. Sugino is worried that his performance as a lecherous husband has been too perfect and believes that Kenzaki will be scared of him despite everyone else's positive comments. Kenzaki, however, also positively comments that Sugino is considering switching from baseball to acting.
No, she
Meanwhile,
compliments his performance, and he's like, maybe I should switch from baseball to acting.
yeah. Meanwhile, Kayano beckons Nagisa to the storage shed, where she accidentally spilled the contents all over the floor. The two start to clean up, soon joined by Koro Sensei, who notices their absence in the classroom. He's like, "Oh no, Nagisa, please help!
It's like,
I'm
step
stuck in
bro,
the
I'm
washing
stuck.
machine. Yes, bro, I'm stuck in the washing machine. Please help!"
Oh,
All
best friend,
three,
I made a mess. I need your help cleaning up. Okay,
all, yeah. Sorry, what?
go.
Uh, Okay. All three reminisce about their past movements and successes. Keanu, in particular, she soon pulls her hair and tentacles begin sprouting out the nape of her neck. Nagisa, whose back was turned until that moment, begins to be surprised as Keanu starts attacking an equally shocked Koro-sensei. Keanu blows the floor open, revealing a pitfall trap, musing that a simple trap was the most effective of all the plans and the tactics used against their teacher. Koro Sensei plunges into a pool of anti Sensei BBs, unable to grip the wall as Keanu's tentacles predicted every movement. Koro Sensei is forced to concentrate some energy to blast his way out of the pitiful trap, and Keanu instinctively recoils in defense, allowing him to escape back to the surface. The whole class rush outside following the commotion as the slightest bruise Nagisa emerges from the storage shed. Keanu follows afterward, slightly disappointed that she had underestimated her target, and the class immediately sees a change in appearance and personality. When Koro Sensei, still reeling from the surprise assault, asks what just happened to Keanu, she merely replies, wanting vengeance for his murder of her sister, Agura Yukimura. Keanu also states that she will notify him of their next battle before departing with her tentacles.
And this is where that one time that we saw Kade with her head up in the like all tied up on the class trip comes back around. I told you to remember that detail. Did you remember that detail?
No, I did not.
Because I'm like, you would have like as much as she does that. It's like a good if a good detail would have been like to show like a little mark or something on her neck in that moment, because it's like, wait, what is that? And then at this point, you would get the reveal of the tentacles.
Yeah.
It's a good like having that set up in the first season to reveal it in the second season would be amazing. And also, throughout the entire anime, she was avoiding having her hair down because she would have been recognized.
Yeah, what's interesting is, did you know that you've seen the movie Cinderella, right?
Which one?
Like the original Disney one.
I have not. I know
Well,
of the plot.
if you watch that movie, you'll notice that the entire time you never once see her ears. I kid you not, you never see him, not once.
Well, I think that's just because of her long hair, and it.
Yeah, it's not just the hair. When she's slaving away for the stepmother and sisters, she wears like a cloth around her head.
Mm, I guess
It's
it
like
was just
crazy.
a difficulty of animation back then, like
Oh,
that detail. Like putting a lot of detail in the ear areas would be annoying back then,
I suppose so.
unless there was movies before it where the characters did have their ears present. At which point I'll look like an idiot. But like sometimes with some characters it's harder to do ears.
I suppose that's true.
Especially
Alright,
with the
where
time
were we?
period. Anyway, at the same time, in an undisclosed location, Shiro discussed how surprised he had been to see an unexpected face the first time he arrived at Class 3E. Shiro knew the whole time. He soon investigated the student and discovered that Keanu was, in fact, Akari Yukimura in disguise, and that she had somehow acquired information in a vial of the tentacle weapon she had planted into herself. Shiro further states that with her acting abilities, she is the most capable and qualified of her classmates to be an assassin. Meanwhile, the class is still in shock at Keanu's sudden turn. I feel like you should have changed. I feel like you should have changed Keanu over to Akari for this section, because Keanu is not acting anymore. She's being herself, which is Akari. Mimura noticed that she looked vaguely familiar to him, and found that she was a prodigal. I don't know how to say that word. Prodigal. Thank you.
Child.
Prodigal child actress who took a temporary break from her profession. Nagisa himself muses how intelligent Akari is, hiding her bloodlust by hanging around with Nagisa, the student with an equal amount, like probably a greater amount of bloodlust, and not getting too close to everyone else. He also deduces.
A match made in heaven.
Yeah. You know, tentacles, bloodlust.
Yeah.
He also deduces that Keanu's pudding plan had been a dummy attempt to avoid any suspicion that she wasn't as active in the assassination attempts. Eterna claims that it would be impossible to grow those tentacles and maintain them without a hard training schedule and without excruciating pain. This guy soon demands that Koro Sensei reveals his past and why Akari accuses him of murdering their previous homeschool teacher, Guri. In light of Keanu's attack, Koro Sensei agrees to tell the class, but only when Keanu returns. I just said Akari, I mean. He he's quickly receives a message from Akari challenging him at a park at 7 p.m. Was it a park or wasn't it like behind the school?
Pretty sure it was a park.
Your turn, Bailey.
Okay. As the evening draws near, Keanu reflects on the past year and when she had last seen her sister alive at the cafe. While waiting to meet up with her sister, an explosion at the workplace occurred. Keanu easily made her way through the rubble to find a tentacle monster standing beside Aguri before leaving. Keanu sees her sister lifeless and a note saying that the perpetrator will be teaching at Kunugigaoka Junior High School. She also took the vials without thinking and researched them. In preparation for her revenge, she transferred to Kunugigaoka on her first try and immediately destroyed Asano's laptop to get herself into Class 3E. After changing her hairstyle, dyeing her hair green, and implementing the liquid into herself, she soon enters Class 3E and meets Nagisa for the first time. Keanu decides she can hide among him and changes Nagisa's ponytail to the signature pigtails. Shira soon interrupts the flashback, accusing her of not waiting for him to activate his plan. Keanu resorts that he abandoned Itona and that she prefers
Retorts,
to
you
work
mean?
alone before departing. Shiro says she should not have acted so coldly to her big brother.
By the way, when she goes to the um Gaku Gakuho's office, she already had the hairstyle down, and between then and going into Class 3E, she dyes her hair green. Just wanted to mention that slight detail. Anyway, continue.
If you insist. The class watches some of Keide's TV shows on their phone, surprised by her acting ability. Nagisa wonders if they were friends or if he was a cover. He notes that her pudding plan was a ruse, so the class wouldn't get suspicious. Like, my pudding! No, it can't be destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sneaky one she
I
was.
feel like some of her acting wasn't acting.
Yeah. So what happens when you want revenge, but you make such a delicious pudding?
Or maybe it was
But
part of the acting.
perhaps. The class loved her, and it was all a performance on her part. The students began to question why Keanu called Koro-sensei a murderer, and if it involves her past. He is silent. They trust him and want him to be honest, thinking they deserve to know the truth. He is quiet, causing the students to threaten to quit. Koro-sensei yields and says that it is time that his past came to light. He says that he will tell them on one condition, that they hear his big secret as a class and must find Keanu. At 7 p.m., Koro-sensei and the class meet Keanu at the park. Koro-sensei explains that the tentacles are damaging her and she must get them removed. They try to dissuade Keanu from fighting any further, but she refuses to listen and even claims that everything they went through the whole year had all been an act when Nagisa asked her. She continued to portray herself as fragile despite her bloodlust tempting her during the kidnapping. Takeoka and the Reaper during the kidnapping, Takieko, and the Reaper incidents. Keanu claims that Koro Sensei murdered her sister and she used to brag about Class 3E. A flashback shows her teaching the class when Nakamura teases her. The students bring up their fond memories of her and doubt whether Koro Sensei killed her. Although warned that it is not worth sacrificing her life to kill the target, Keanu does not plan on dying, only killing her teacher, and begins attacking Koro Sensei. Itona sees that just 15 seconds into the battle, Keanu's tentacles are already taking over her consciousness, and she will die if she does not stop. As Koro Sensei continues to defend himself, Keanu's subconscious begs him to help her.
Yeah, because like she's like screaming like die, die, and all that, but like on the inside she's like help me. Anyway, Akiri continues her ferocious attacks on Koro Sensei. It is immediately obvious to the class that the tentacles are consuming her mind, and Eternal predicts that if nothing is done to prevent it, she'll truly die regardless of whether Koro Sensei is killed. At that moment, images of Koro Sensei's face sprout in front of the class while still defending himself. He's like blocking the tentacles while also like looking out of the fire. He states that the only way to save Keanu's life is to take away her tentacles, but unlike Etona's case, they do not have the time to calm her bloodlust. Hence, he'll need to remove them during their fight. It falls on the students to come up with a way to subdue Akiri for just a brief moment, when Koro Sensei will intentionally expose his main weak point, where Akiri will let down her guard. Akiri's next attack forces Koro Sensei to return his attention to her, as the students suggest various ways to do as they were asked. Nagisa thinks back to all the lessons they've learnt throughout the year. While most options are either ineffective or result in Akiri being hurt, Nagisa suddenly remembers one particular technique. And it's gonna be a fun one, isn't it?
Indeed.
Back to the fight. Koro Sensei exposes his crescent moon tie, prompting Akiri to strike his heart. However, her opponent catches her off guard and restrains her with his arms. At that point, Nagisa approaches the struggling pair. Not believing everything Akiri had done with the class for the past year was all an act, he calmly walks up to her and kisses her on the mouth.
Ooh.
The whole class is shocked, but this manages to
Nani!
bring...
They're like, Nani!
The whole class is shocked, but this manages to bring Akiri back to her senses before being unconscious after 15 hits. Koro Sensei then surgically removes the tentacles from her neck. It's like, damn. Being able to knock someone out in 15 hits, that's impressive.
It's like, damn.
He, like, the fact that, like, Nagisa was the only one that really got that lesson from anyone, from, Arena, is the funniest part of it all.
That's why he's number one.
He's the number one student in assassination techniques because he's been basically shown them all at this point. And with the battle over, the students crowd around Akiri. Nakamura and Kama tease Nagisa about the kiss, while Arena critiques that he still has much to improve on because it's like 15 hits in 30 seconds. We gotta do better. Koro Sensei starts to recover from being hit in the heart, but can still dodge an anti-sensei BB shot. The sniper is a hooded individual accompanied by Shiro, who is disappointed that for all of Akiri's talk about revenge, she was not capable of killing her target. Shiro removes his removes his mask along with a device that alters his voice, and Koro Sensei recognizes him as Yanagisawa. Yanagisawa promises to kill him by March, and the pair leave the scene. Care to take the next one?
I sure can.
We're
After
getting fun
Keanu
stuff.
wakes... Sorry, what?
We're getting to the fun, juicy story.
Yeah. After Keanu wakes up, she tells the class that at first revenge was fueled by her pure bloodlust. But as she got to spend time with the class and Koro Sensei throughout the year, the more she began to think there was more to the circumstances that led by her sister being killed. Her weakening resolve, however, was not agreeable to her tentacles, and her bloodlust overwhelmed her, hence why she carried out her original plan. Nagisa confronts Keanu, stating that because
Comforts,
of
not
her,
confronts.
he became... Sorry, what?
You said confronts, it's comforts.
Comforts. Well, potato, potato. He confronts Keanu, then comforts her, because he had to be in her presence, so he confronted her, so he could comfort her.
Okay.
and, and starts stating that because of her, he became comfortable with his long hair, and that everyone agreed that to her suggestion to name their teacher Koro Sensei. Furthermore, the smiling warm girl they knew has been accepted as their friend. Kiana weeps gladly as she no longer needs to put on a charade.
Charade.
Izuke once again requests that Koro Sensei tell the truth about himself. He starts with what Kurosama and Irina, Professor Bleeb, had discussed during the summer vacation.
We're calling
The broad
we're
of it.
calling her Arena now. We've passed that point where she's really that.
Are you sure?
Yes. We can
Well, if
call
you
her
look at
Irina now. The students really start to accept her as that.
well, very well then.
At least I think it's
Where
at this
was I?
point.
Where were we? I've lost myself because you got me saying arena now. Oh, there we go. Had discussed during the summer vacation. The broader the knowledge of an assassin, the better you can teach.
Hmm.
No, oh, we got laptops. No. Sorry, I thought it froze for a second. He puts this forward to the class and asks them why he is such an effective teacher despite this being his first year being so. Sensei confirms that until 2 years ago he was known as a Reaper. He went on to add that he would die in March, either at someone else's hands or when he explodes.
Uh,
Sensei then
sorry.
begins retelling.
I just love the detail of like, yeah, he was the Reaper first. Basically, got his identity stolen by someone else, by the very person he was training, no less.
Sensei begins retelling his life as a human boy growing up in a war-torn region. He only learned about death as a result. He only that's where again tongue-tied. In this war, he only learned about death. As
Yes.
a result, he decided to become an assassin and honed his skills to kill people from intellectuals to powerful figures. In 10 years, he earned the moniker of a Reaper. He was later taken captive and became a test subject to be experimented on by Yanagisawa, a researcher. The Reaper soon became acquainted with a female lab worker named Yukimura, who he thought could be of use to him. He tries to get her to release him, but she refuses. He decides to bide his time and covertly control the experiments so that he can use his new power to escape one day. While in captivity, he also witnessed Yanagisawa's cruelty to his fiancée.
Mm. I
In
love
the
the fact
next,
that you don't mention the other guy that becomes the Reaper. Be-
oh, I'm probably going to save that for later. Oh, well, cat's out of the bag now.
It's like one of the first details when he gets arrested.
Oh, well, alright then, I guess we have to mention it now then.
Oh wait, did you have it written later?
Perhaps, but you'll never know now.
I'm sorry.
In the next 3 months, the assassin and Yukimura became close, and she tells him she is a teacher at the school. In fact, she is somewhat awed that a professional assassin was schooling a high school teacher about quad- quadratic equations. The assassin recounted how he was betrayed by his apprentice and could not understand where he made his mistake.
Yeah.
Yukimura believes that his pupil wanted to be seen by him, something the assassin initially did not understand. As time passes, the two grew closer, and Yukimura asked the assassin about the exam questions she prepared. The latter finally understands her meaning of wanting to be seen, as at this time it was the beginning of the school year for the current Class 3E, 2 weeks away from the creation of the permanent crescent moon.
I I love how the original Reaper is able to casually just solve like the quadratic stuff, like fogging up the glass and writing out the equation for her to read.
Well, appearances aren't everything.
The Reaper has to be amazing at everything he does, apparently.
Yeah, like a regular boss girl.
Anyways, over the course of a year, the Reaper's body continued to be altered by the experiment, while his relationship with Guri continued to grow stronger. Meanwhile, an experiment testing the effects of the tentacle formula on a rat proved disastrous, causing the explosion that destroyed 70% of the moon. So it's not even Koro Sensei's fault in this situation, it was a rat.
Damn space rats.
Well, it was the tentacle injected into the rat. Imagine if you created a situation where you injected it into the largest animal ever, and like in 5 years it just explodes the entire Earth.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Learning that the same thing may happen to him in a year's time, the Reaper unleashes his new powers in an attempt to escape from Yanagisawa's facility, killing several guards and gouging out Yanagisawa's left eye. Which is why when we saw him, he had the eye patch thing going on.
Yeah.
As Aguri tried to keep him from leaving, she was fatally wounded by one of the. It was like a tentacle trap thing that shoots out of the wall. And she asks him to watch over Class 3 in her place. Devastated by Aguri's death, the Reaper wished to be weak and flawed, and his tentacles transformed him into the kind-hearted teacher Koro Sensei. Back in the present, as the students had troubled over the thought of having to assassinate the teacher, they had grown to admire, with Kade having a change of heart after learning the truth. Nagisa states his desire to find a way to save Koro Sensei's life. Yeah, episode 16 is a bit more of a short episode, because it's all about the history.
Like an epilogue.
Hmm?
Like a bit of an epilogue.
Well, there is one detail you didn't mention. That was the Reaper used creating really tiny tentacles to go through the air holes and
Tentacles.
forming it into a hand to touch touch Guri's face.
Yeah, he used these tentacles.
What?
Tentacles.
No, no. He doesn't do it that way. It's mainly from his It's all over his body that it does it from. But it's a nice touch that he was able to do that, and he's not just violent. he understands how to be caring in his own way. I'm surprised you shortened 16 down to just one paragraph.
Yeah, I tried making it shorter because to me it felt more like it was an epilogue, you know?
Yeah. Because it's not really much that happens. It's like a lot of like all the students are just like sitting around. They're like, "Do we really want to do this?" And the episode does end with like Nagisa and gathering up students in the forest to be like, "Do we actually have to kill him?" And Nagisa's like, "I want to save Koro Sensei from his fate."
Yeah.
Anyway, on that somber note, for YouTube right now, links will be in the description to both of my channels, both of Bailey's channels, for you guys to check out, along with Twitch as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so the next video comes out. A ding, 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 a ding.
Dun 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 dun.
I'm Psycrafter out. You gonna say
And
goodbye,
I'm the
Bailey?
mad scientist.
No,
And I'm the
no,
mad scientist.
you're not. You're not.
One day.
You're not.
One day.
You're not taking over
Someday,
my
but not
position
today.
like the other Reaper took over Koro Sensei's position.
This is Tokyo Junkie signing off.